Hey everyone, it's me, Chris from Body Nova Fitness Coaching, and we're going to talk about lunges and split squats, okay? More importantly, it's not about which one you should do. Both of them are great. Both of them have the benefits and all that. It's more about how you can use the step, or why I use the step to with my split squats and my lunges and things like that. So first off, let's just get this out of the way, because most people do not understand that there's a difference between a split squat and a lunge. All right, so if you perform the regular lunge, you're starting off with 2 feet. You lunge out or step forward with 1 foot. That foot hits the ground. You lower yourself into the lunge, or you could say a squat. All right, you get to your bottom and you push back, but your foot leaves the ground as you push back and go back to your starting position, which is standing on 2 feet. Okay. A split squat is different. When you do the split squat, your foot is forward, okay, touching the ground. Both feet are in contact with the ground, and you put your weight. You come down, lower yourself into the squat or the lunge, whatever you want to call it. Let's say this. You lower yourself into the squat. As you lower yourself down into your bottom and push back up, you're still in a split position. It's that you don't push yourself all the way back up to both feet standing, because that foot that you are performing the split squat on stays on the ground. Okay, the working leg stays on the ground. It never leaves the ground. The lunge, it leaves the ground because you push yourself back up to your starting position. Okay, so the split squat, for that reason, was nicknamed a stationary lunge, even though it's not really a lunge, but it's telling you that both feet stay on the ground. Okay. Now, when you work in the real life with people, what some people will do is they will make the exercise, make everyone fit into the way the exercise is performed the same way. And that could be a great disservice to people, because some people, or a lot of people, because we sit too much, we're inactive, we don't work all the right muscles, whatever your excuse may be, we have tight hip flexors, okay? And one of the things that happens with tight hip flexors is your rectus femoris is one of the hip flexor muscles, which is also one of your quadricep muscles. That muscle runs down the front of your leg, and attaches into the patellar tendon like your other quadriceps muscles. But this one also runs up to the top of the pelvis. So as it runs up the top of the pelvis, when it gets shortened with your other hip flexors, okay, from inactivity or sitting too much, lack of stretching, whatever the reason, it tilts the pelvis forward. Okay, so it shortens, those other muscles shorten for you to have that type of posture. Okay, and when it shortens, you're not going to be able to get the good stretch you need on the non-working leg to get down into a proper lunge or a proper split squat as well as someone that has good flexibility and nice lengthened or non-shortened hip flexors. Okay, so what we do to make up for that, because when you get down to that position and your thighs should be parallel to the floor, that 90-degree angle, okay, or thighs parallel to the ground, not 90-degree angle, get down in that position. But what it also is you got a tight hip flexor on the non-working leg, okay, and that can prevent you from getting down, because some people will try to do the lunge or a split squat and they can't get as low as they should because they feel a sharp pain on the non-working leg, okay. Also, a lot of people have tight calves, and so when they squat or lunge or whatever, those shins don't move forward. So the shin doesn't move forward, so it prevents you from having the quads activate and work as they should, or prevents you from getting into as deep a squat as they should without either stress on the back or stress on that hip flexor, because that shin doesn't move forward. So what we try to do, or what I would try to do with clients who need deep squats and deep lunges, or split squats rather, is you use a step, okay? So what that step does, if the step is underneath the working leg, it makes up for a lack of shin movement, so that you can easily get down into a deeper lunge or split squat, okay? It also will make you activate your quads more, because as you see, as I change these steps, as I go from doing this on the ground, doing this on a step with 1 risers, or doing this on a step with 3 risers, when my thighs are parallel to the ground, my quads, the top of my quads are parallel to the ground, what you're going to see is that you're going to see that I'm going to have more bend in my knee. Okay, so if I have more bend in my knee, that means my quads are going to have to work hard to get me back up. All right. Now, if I do the reverse and I'm standing on the step, or I'm doing reverse step and I'm stepping off of it, okay, that's going to be the opposite. That's going to have you work your glutes a little bit more. As you see, I'm going to get a little bit more bend at the hip for the glutes. All right. But you also have to be careful. You can't just drop off of this because, you know, you can pull muscles. You want to be careful, because that's kind of a dynamic, sort of like a plyometric movement if you drop off too fast. But anyway, it'll make sense, because when you do the Bulgarian squat, what's the position? The non-working leg is on the step, right? And the working leg is on the ground. And what happens? Bulgarian squats is one of the exercises with the most, or if not the exercise that gives you the most glute activity. So you can perform these, but when you do this a lunge, it's a drop lunge or a rear foot. Then if you do it as a split squat, it's a rear foot elevated split squat or a Bulgarian squat, based on how high you have that step. Usually for Bulgarian squats, you want to have that step right about at the height of your calf. Okay, but anyway, as we go through this, I'm using the step, working foot on the step, more quads, can make up for bad flexibility, non-working leg on the step, unless you're doing a reverse lunge, non-working foot on the step will be will introduce you to more glutes. But either way, the step can make up for a lack of flexibility or bad posture.